Hello, welcome to another fantasy football tournament. I believe this is number 47, and this is the Black Sea Cup, the nations that share a border with the Black Sea, which resides in extreme Eastern Europe. And as you can tell, the countries that do so are former Soviet states, as well as one nation from the Caucasus, which is Georgia, and then the other being Turkey. And the other being Romania, which I don't recall. I don't remember. I don't believe was Romania part of the Soviet Union, guys. I don't know. But this was a video idea that was floated by one of my subscribers after I made the Adriatic Fantasy Cup between Italy and Croatia. You won't really see tournaments based off of land masses that share the same body of water in my series because I don't want to dive. Get it? Pun. Dive. Water. Okay. Pun intended. I don't want to dive too far into that. I have a whole list of videos I want to get to, and that includes some fantasy football series. But this was a good idea. I mean, whoever suggested it, thank you for doing so. And it's an interesting tournament. I had a lot of fun thinking about this, and let's just jump right in. So these are the 6 countries that share a border with the Black Sea. Not to be confused with the Dead Sea, which is in Israel and Jordan. A lot of people confuse the Black Sea with the Dead Sea. Black Sea is much, much larger and less saltier than the Dead Sea. So I separated the 6 countries into 2 groups of 3 teams each. Everybody plays each other twice because there is no host country. It is just a series of playoffs home and away between the 3 teams from each group. And I could have the 2 group winners advance to play each other in a final, but you know me, I picked the top 2 from each group to advance. So it's sort of like what the format of the 48-team World Cup will look like from 2026, but just in a double round-robin type of structure. So let's jump right in, shall we? So in Group A, we have Ukraine, Bulgaria, and Romania. In Group B, we have Russia, Georgia, and Turkey. So let's get to the predictions. In Ukraine versus Bulgaria, I have a victory at home for Bulgaria. In Bulgaria versus Romania, I have a victory at home for Bulgaria. In Romania versus Ukraine, I have a draw. For the return leg in Ukraine, a victory for the Ukraine. A match at home for Romania against Bulgaria, a victory for Romania. And for a match at home in Bulgaria, a victory for Bulgaria. So in this group, the home teams all win their games, save for one draw between Romania and the Ukraine. So where does this group end up? It ends with Ukraine on top of the group with 7 points. Bulgaria in second, right below with 6 points, and Romania in last with 4 points. So 7, 6, and 4. I put Bulgaria ahead of Romania, guys, because Romania, they've had a pretty rocky last few years in international football. Bulgaria had several respectable results in their qualifying group, which contained the eventual World Cup winners France, the Netherlands, and Sweden. I believe up until the final match day, Bulgaria did not lose a single game at home. They had won all of their 4 previous fixtures. And Bulgaria, watch out for these guys. Watch out for this team, guys. I have them as one of Euro 2020's entrants. Romania right now, really very much so in a transition period. They finished, I believe, 4th in a qualifying group in which they were seeded, which is quite remarkable. So, because of this, Ukraine and Bulgaria advance. Romania are out. Let's move on to Group B. The first match between two former Soviet states, Russia and Georgia, I have a victory for Russia. Georgia versus Turkey in an upset victory for the Georgians. Turkey bounces back with a victory at home over the Russians. Russia cannot put Turkey away as the Turks grab a crucial away point on the road in Moscow. But Turkey slip up back at home when an opportunity to seize control of Group B slips away from them as the Georgians steal a point. Georgia gets one over on their former, I guess you could say, oppressor state. They get the draw at home. So this leaves us in an interesting position in Group B because I have all three teams ending with 5 points. Georgia, very much the surprise of Group B in the Black Sea Cup. All three teams in a three-way tie, guys. So which two teams go through? Well, Russia wins it on goal difference, and Turkey in second, and unfortunately, a strong-willed Georgian team who many of us thought would be blown over in this group actually still get eliminated, but on goal difference. So, 5-5-5, but Russia and Turkey go through by the slimmest of margins. Now we get to the semifinals. In the Black Sea Cup semifinals, we have Ukraine versus Turkey and Russia versus Bulgaria. Ukraine versus Turkey. First leg at home in Kiev. I give it a 2-0 victory for Ukraine. On the return leg in Istanbul, the deficit is just a little too much for Turkey to overcome, but I give Turkey a 3-1 victory, which puts this tie at 3-3 on aggregate, but with Ukraine going to the final via the away goals rule. Russia versus Bulgaria. Russia wins the first leg 1-0, and in the return leg, (1-1). So Russia goes to the final 2-1 on aggregate. Third place playoff. Again, this is two-legged. A little unusual for a third place fixture, but that's how I do things. Turkey wins at home 2-1 over Bulgaria. And in the return fixture, ends in 0-0. So Turkey wins 2-1 on aggregate. They win the bronze medal in the Black Sea Cup. Bulgaria in fourth, which leads us to our final. Ukraine versus Russia. And as you know, these two teams met in the final of a previous fantasy tournament of mine, which was the former Soviet Union Cup. And Ukraine was victorious in that. So the first leg in Kiev, I have actually a 2-1 victory for the Ukraine. And the return in Moscow, a 2-1 victory for Russia, sending this game to extra time where it remains at 2-1 still, where it goes to penalties because on aggregate score, it is 3-3, Ukraine finding themselves yet again in another 3-3 aggregate score. And on penalties, Russia is victorious, getting revenge on Ukraine from losing the former Soviet States Cup. So in this tournament, Black Sea Cup. Ukraine finishes runners-up. Russia, the 2018 World Cup host nation, wins the tournament. So Russia in first, Ukraine in second, Turkey third, Bulgaria fourth. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. God willing. Until then, peace.